Welcome everyone. I think we will get started now. So thank you for joining us. My name is Heather Moriyama. I'm a volunteer and welcome to our meet and greet for April. We will be recording tonight's event. So it's kind of the cue for Joy to please start the recording. And as we go through tonight's meeting presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to type it into the chat box. Please keep yourselves on mute so that we can hear the speakers. And then also we will be monitoring any comments that come through. But to get us started for tonight, I'd like to introduce Jaylene Chi. She's the Regional Volunteer Services Officer for the Pacific Island region.
Aloha, Hafade, and Talofa. Happy National Volunteer Week. This week and all year long, we're grateful for your selfless service. From disaster responses to behind-the-scenes work, your contributions make an impact. Let's take a look at your impact in the community. You responded to over 80 disasters and assisted with several disaster operations. You assisted with COVID testing sites and vaccination clinics and provided disaster preparedness education. You also installed smoke alarms to keep families safe, educated our youth, trained over 18,000 people in life-saving methods, provided over 1,000 pet-assisted activities, and contributed over 41,000 volunteer hours. Thank you for your selfless contributions. We'd like to now recognize and honor our volunteers in these categories. The names of the volunteers on the next slide contributed over 500 logged hours in the past year. That's commendable. The next slide, the dedicated are dedicated volunteers that make themselves available day and night to respond to the need of the community. These selfless volunteers contributed over 1,000 on-call hours. These brave individuals deployed in 2021 to assist with disaster relief operations, even with the risk of the pandemic. They deployed to California wildfires and to Louisiana to assist with Hurricane Ida, to name a few.
Jay, you're on mute now.
I didn't even move my mic. All right, this list of committed volunteers gave 28 or more days to a disaster relief operation in a virtual position. Outstanding. And these are, now we're going to pay our attention to our volunteers who have given so many years of their time to our service. I'd like to recognize and thank these selfless volunteers for 20 or more years of service. Thank you also to the volunteers who have given 17 to 20 years of service to the Red Cross. You're amazing. And a big thank you to these volunteers who contributed 15 to 16 years of service to the Red Cross and their community. Your support and time and compassion to serve the Red Cross mission is invaluable, and we simply could not fulfill our mission without all of you. On behalf of the staff in the Pacific Island region, we are honored to serve next to you. Thank you. Please give yourselves a virtual round of applause. Now I'd like to share a little bit about our guest speaker, Eddie Flores. Mr. Flores is a pillar in the business community and a long-standing friend and supporter of the Red Cross, founder of the L&L Hawaiian Barbecue with 220 locations in 14 states and Japan. He graduated from the University of Hawaii with a bachelor's degree and the University of Oklahoma with a master's degree. Author of 4 books and numerous articles, Mr. Flores served as the former chair of the Honolulu Board of Water Supply, Honolulu Police Commission, Chaminade University, and East-West Center, to name a few. Thank you for your time and for sharing your story with us this evening, Mr. Flores. Take it away.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. You can hear me? Okay, good. First, I just want to say thank you very much for inviting me here today. It is such a great honor. And secondly, is I just want to congratulate all the workers, all the volunteers. You guys did a marvelous job. I don't know. I used to be a board member of the American Red Cross too. That was a long time ago. But now I'm just too lazy to do anything. But anyway, when Diane called me, I've known Diane for a long time. I used to be a board of director, about a region at the Chaminade. That's when I met her. She called me and she asked me if I could talk a little about L&L. And I said, hey, why don't I talk about motivation to motivate you guys and see some of the things that you should be doing. So I call that the Eddie Flores story. Okay, so very simple. Let me ask you a couple questions. Let me pose you this question now. What is the chances of a 16-year-old immigrant that cannot speak English that come to America to be super successful? So you ask yourself, what is the chance? 16-year-old came to America, barely can speak English to be successful. Not too much chance. So I would say strike one, right?
Did you do
What about
Teams call?
if that person came with a very poor family? Both my parents have less than sixth grade education. I was brought up in a very poor social economic environment. And what was really lacking was mentoring, because my parents really didn't know how to mentor me, know what to tell me to do or guide me, to be a better person. Because we don't know. They don't know either. They just came to America, just busy working. So I've been telling people that'll be a strike too. And the third strike I have would be unbelievable because would you believe that I have some learning disability, severe learning disability? Any one of you would believe that I'm not that smart? Anyone? No one responding. You know, Actually, I was pretty terrible in school. In fact, I may have ADD when I was young. I actually have to repeat my first grade the whole full year. Can you believe that? You don't believe that, huh? And then I went back again, and I have to repeat again a second time. Hard to believe, but it can happen in Hong Kong, where I was brought up. It was pretty easy, and I got kicked out. By the way, the school I attended was called Pak Sun School. That was where Bruce Lee graduated about, 2 years ahead of me. So I got kicked out. But going back to school again, on the third grade, I actually have to be expelled too, because I just failed. Third time. And the fourth time was eighth grade. Eighth grade, I was ready to come to America. So I don't know why I failed, but I failed anyway. Four times. And people, when I told people the story, no one would ever believe that. They say, Eddie, you don't look that stupid. I'm not. I'm pretty smart. It's just I'm not a good listener. Especially when my wife talked to me, I just walk away. And I blame it on ADD. That's a good excuse, I'm telling you. But true, by the time I graduated from high school, I was almost 35 years old. Nah, that's a joke, okay? I actually graduated at 19. But what I did was, back at Hong Kong, we used to jump school all the time. So I skipped second grade. That's why on first grade, you failed twice, jumped to third grade. Sure, I failed again. So it's kind of like a long trend, And my mom, if you believe that, she used to call me stupid. Honest to God, if you Chinese, you would know. They will give you a lot of nickname. My nickname was stupid, because I would study very hard. Honest to God, I worked very hard on myself. I would study up till 2 o'clock in the morning, even in junior high school, and I still got a lousy grade. Maybe a D or C, nothing good. So it was really, really a tough situation for me. My mom said, "Hey, that's my stupid son," and just before she passed away, I kind of warned her. I said, "Hey, look, don't call me stupid because I'm not stupid. Can you see how successful I am?" And I warned her, if she called me stupid again, I will take away her allowance every month. And I've been very generous to her, honest to God. I gave her about 5,000 every month in pesos. Okay, any Filipino here? It's about 50 to 1 exchange rate, so about $100. That's a joke, okay, guys. Sometimes it's pretty tough to give a Zoom meeting, something like that, because I don't get the response. so I cannot continue on my jokes.
That's why I showed my face, because I thought this poor
If
guy's
if you
talking
don't
to an
laugh,
empty
I'll say,
screen.
oh gosh. I got to tell you a story, because getting the response is so important. Because I gave a speech one time at the Malacañang Palace. If you're Filipino, that's the palace where the president lives. And I was the keynote speaker, and my favorite joke was, I bought the restaurant for my mother. When she started to make money, I fired her. To me, the local people will have a big laugh. But when I cracked that joke in the Philippines, nobody laughed at all. I swear to God, I was so stunned I forgot my speech. Because when I speak, I don't use any notes. I just went up there and talked. So I was so petrified. It took me about a minute before I recovered. I don't remember what I'm supposed to say. You know, that was the most scary speech I ever given. But anyway, back again. Where are I now? Okay.
Eddie, sorry, before you continue, since this is such a different kind of presentation, I'm just gonna invite everyone, if you want to come on camera, you're welcome to be on camera, just so it can be a little bit, so at least Eddie can see some responses.
It kind of needs to be
unmute.
interactive.
You guys should
Yeah.
laugh.
Keep yourselves on mute, but feel free to be on camera,
You
everyone.
can laugh.
That's better for him. Yeah.
Anyway. So actually, I was really terrible. I might have ADD, and I just never do good in school. Even at UH, when I went to UH, I study hard. Honest to God, I'm one of those guys that really study, and I graduated with a C. So when I applied for grad school 20 years later, no one would accept me. Would you believe that? No one would accept me for grad school because I want to prove myself I could do it. And no one would accept me. Finally, I went to Oklahoma because I need a football player, so I qualified. That's a joke too. Nobody would understand that.
I want to let you know, I used to be with Mensa, which is a high IQ society, and a lot of people with high IQs are diagnosed with ADHD. It's just that very smart people want to think about a lot of things at once. So I think you need to be kinder to yourself.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I know my limits. In fact, when I was in the army, I was an intelligent analyst, and I know they only pick smart guys, so I must be smart because a whole bunch of people took the test and nobody passed except me. So I knew I must be smart. So anyway, my biggest break came actually coming to America. Okay, because if I stay in Hong Kong, I'll be a musician, just like my father. He's a Filipino musician. If I don't graduate from high school, I'll be playing music. A drummer or something. Maybe it's better for me. It's such a glamorous life being a musician, but you just don't make money. And I always wanted to make money. So coming to America was the biggest break, because in America, they don't you don't repeat grades. You know that, right? Nobody flunked. So I keep passing. So what a UH, and then after UH, I actually worked for a bank. Bank for Hawaii. I worked there for about 2.5 years. I was making about $450 a month as a management trainee. I was a trainee, very selective program. In fact, they only pick the smartest and the best. So when they interviewed me, I was pretty talkative, so they picked me. And 6 months later, they asked me for my transcript. That's what they found out. I'm just a low C student. That was really fun. You know, if they have seen my transcript earlier, I probably would get hired because I flung accounting and finance and all those subjects. So after the bank, I kind of went into real estate business because I wanted to make money. And from when I was young, I wanted to make money. So I went to real estate business, and I was very lucky. And I actually, went to, bought a lot of real estate and make money when I was very young. 26 years old, I'm almost a millionaire by that time. Hard to believe that, huh? I was rich, even at 26. That's why I bought the restaurant for my mom when I saw that. Honest to God, I mean, how often would you buy a restaurant for your mother? How many people would buy it? What would you give your mom? She was a dishwasher at Lynn's Deli. You guys know what Lynn's Deli is? Ala Moana, a long time ago, to make great sandwiches. You know, she was a kind of dishwasher cashier, so I felt bad for her, and I bought her a little restaurant called L&L. And the story was, like I told you earlier, when she started to make money, what did I do? I got rid of her. No, that's not true. That's not true. I'll never do that. I don't. I have a very kind heart. Actually, I've been very nice to people. So she didn't want to work, so I found a partner. His name is Johnson Cam. Okay, Johnson Cam. He's my partner from day one. He's my 50% partner, and he ran the restaurant. And eventually, I sold everything to him because when you got a college degree, you just don't want to work at a restaurant. So I sold everything to him back to my real estate business. And in 1990, I think I saw him very successful, and he was letting people using the name L&L Drive-In at that time. And I told him, you can't just let people use the name like that without charging a fee. You are Chinese, and that's not the Chinese way of doing business. And he said, yeah, Eddie, you're right. And I said, let me come back and help you. So I became a partner again, and I started the franchise operation. And I became the president, and we 50% owner of the company. So just imagine now, I went to restaurant business, have absolutely no experience. I know nothing about restaurant. I don't know anything at all. And I was only working part-time. And I was able to build the restaurant with Johnson and built into almost like 50 locations in 10 years. That was unheard of in Hawaii. No one ever done that before. Okay, the first one. And then we went to the mainland. The mainland, everyone discouraged us. Say, hey, you can't go there because no one's gonna eat plate lunches. No one's gonna eat that. I don't know if you guys agree or not, because the Caucasian, they don't eat plate lunches, right? They don't eat rice, macaroni salad. Everybody discouraged me, especially my wife. My wife said, don't do it, don't do it. Well, after we became successful, when my wife asked me to do something, I just walk away. I don't listen to her anymore. Okay, she's over there right now washing dishes, so she's gonna slap my head after this. Okay, don't worry. She heard my jokes before, so she won't get mad at me. She used to all my jokes. So anyway, we went to the mainland, and surprisingly, in a short time, we opened close to how many locations? Close to 30, 40. And today we actually have 220 locations in the mainland. Can you believe that? 220 locations in the mainland. And people always tell me it's tough to do business in Hawaii. Okay, Hawaii is a tough place to do business. I don't know if you guys agree or not. And I've been telling them, wait till you go to California. That's even worse than Hawaii in terms of regulations and rules and so on. Besides that, the competition. When you go to California, you got almost like 40 million people. Hawaii only got about 1 million. So there's so many people much smarter than you. So many people that has more money than you. You think you're rich, they have 100 times more than you. So the competition is really tough. One of the things I've been telling people is we have actually people coming in our restaurant and take pictures. Just take pictures. Before you know, across the street, you will see another Hawaii barbecue. We call that Hawaii barbecue at the mainland. So competition is really tough. So I've been telling my employees, if you see anyone coming into L&L to take pictures in the mainland, don't ask any question. Do what we do in Hawaii. Just shoot them. That's a joke. Nobody laugh. Bad joke. Shoot. Okay. You need a crowd to all the deliberate jokes like that. Okay. Anyway, honest to God, competition is really tough. In fact, at one time I saw the management team. One of the store called me up and said the management team of Panda Express with 10 people inside my restaurant for 4 hours. I was sure scared because they say the Panda Express coming in, they got 2,000 location. They will certainly kill me. But fortunately, they decided not to do anything. Andy is very successful. I don't know if you know Andy. He and his wife are immigrants too. They're probably one of the richest Chinese in America. In restaurant business, they got almost 2,000 or so. But L&L has been doing a lot of things that no other company in Hawaii have done before. Okay, I just want to tell you, because we are probably one of the very first to franchise successfully. There's no company in Hawaii ever franchise successful. No company ever been to the mainland or franchise. You may see a couple company franchise, a couple store they went belly up, like like Dave's Ice Cream, Maui Taco. So I mean, they'll do that, but not us. We are the first one. Went away 30, 40 years, very successful, and still continue to grow. And I'm very happy to tell you that my daughter, she's only 37 years old. She took over the business already. I'm kind of semi-retired, and I kind of hand over to her. My daughter's taking over. Her name is Alicia Flores. Some folks may know her. And she already took over the business, and we are very successful. And she's very smart, and I'm pretty sure she will bring it to a higher level because she's more high tech. More experience in corporate. Me, I'm just an entrepreneur. So the second thing, I just want to mention is we are the first company from Hawaii actually went to the mainland and dominate the market. If you guys been to, for the old timers, if you go to the mainland way, way long, 20, 30 years ago, you go to the mainland 20, you will never find a fast food Hawaiian restaurant. I'm telling you, you can go down there, you may see in a Hawaiian restaurant with hula dancing at night and so on, a bar. You never find Hawaiian restaurant, fast food like us, never. Today, we got 220 all over United States, 220. In addition, there must be about 400 or 500 copycats. Okay, so if you see anything that says Ohana, Ono, Aloha, Hawaiian barbecue, they're fakies. Do not eat there. They're not from Hawaii. Okay, look for L&L Hawaiian barbecue and eat at my restaurant so I can get richer. Okay, but don't eat at those restaurants because they're not the same. They just copy it. They don't even know what Aloha Spirit is. Okay, but we actually the first company to bring a concept to the mainland and grow it out of nowhere. We have almost like us 220, another 400 or 500 copycats. Almost anywhere you go nowadays, you're gonna find local food because of me. Okay, because of us. And the other thing too is you heard about spam musubi, right? Spam musubi. I didn't know anything about it 20 years ago. Even 20 years ago, I have no idea what spam musubi is. And when we brought over to the mainland, it became a hit. We might even sell 200, 300 a day nowadays. Nowadays, when you travel on 7-Eleven, you might even see it in a 7-Eleven store. And these are some of the things we did that no one else ever did. Bringing a Hawaiian aloha to the mainland. Okay, and I'm one of the first. I like to brag, and that's the way it is. And the last one that we did was we're the first company to actually open 8 different countries. Okay, we've been in 8 different countries, even though every one of them failed except Japan. But I still got to take credit. There's no other company from Hawaii that ever been to 8 different countries that we did. So we're very proud of our record because that's some of the things that L&L did that no one else ever did before. Okay, just want to tell you that. So people are gonna ask me, what is my key to my success now? Why am I so successful? What did I do? Being poor, no mentoring. I really miss the mentoring because my parents really haven't, they don't know what to tell me to do. Because I've been telling people if I've gone to a local school, even a private school, I'll be an officer in the military instead of being an enlisted man. When I went in, I say I'm smarter than most of these guys. How come I have to listen to the orders? So in a way, it's not fair. And then, being a little ADD, I still haven't tested myself yet because I want to test myself to find out I'm really disabled. Maybe I should. Then I get a parking sticker for free. I can park my car anywhere. Can I do that? ADD? No? Okay. Anyway, so what are the key of my success on? When I look back, I would say number one is really coming to America. This is really a land of opportunity. Okay, there's no other places that give you the opportunity to grow and do anything you want, the education and so on. So coming to America to me is the number one. Like I said, if I stay in Hong Kong, I'll be a Filipino musician playing drum. And but I probably won't be. I'll be a drum leader or a band leader or something, you know. But I'll be back there. And the second reason is education. Education is very important, you know, and I always believe in it. I studied very hard. You know, I worked very hard on it to make myself more educated. You know, I didn't have to get my master, and I went back at my master. I didn't have to get my bachelor. I went to get my bachelor. You know, and I study all the time, do research, and do all kind of stuff. You know, so education is very important. So for you folks, you know, if you get a bachelor, you should get a master. You know, and very important. You don't need a PhD. Master is good enough. And the next thing is you have to work harder than anyone else. Okay, I work hard. Like I said, when I was eighth grade, I used to study up to 2 o'clock in the morning, even though I've still got lousy grades. I study. You know, I took a test one time, real estate, and I competed with a lawyer, and I beat him because I studied harder than him. I memorized everything. I have a very good memory, so I can memorize everything, and I beat him. So you got to work hard, you know. And I set my goal from day one when I was in school that I can prove myself. Went to college, got my bachelor, got my master, just to prove I can do it. And you know, if you don't try, it's not gonna happen. Even giving a speech, you know, being a you know, foreign born, you know, I was always afraid to speak. Always afraid. I got a C minus in speech at UH. When I started working for a bank, I was so petrified just to be in front of people to speak because you know, I thought I may make mistakes. I don't sound good, but I work. I work hard on it. I work hard. I perfected my speech. Now I look back and I said, "Wow, I can speak better than Keith Kaneshiro." Now that's a joke. Okay, don't tell Keith. He's my friend. Or Ben Cayetano. No, I shouldn't say that. They got mad at me. Right? Is it on tape? Don't show it to them. Okay. Apologize, Ben and Keith. But I really work hard on my speech, and I have now I can give a speech without notes. I never gave speech with notes. Without notes, I can talk half an hour without notes. You know, I've been a graduation speaker at UH. Like I mentioned, I was in the Philippines, a keynote at the palace. Can you believe that? All the presidents were there. I was giving a speech. So you know, you got to try hard. You got to work on it. It didn't just come naturally. I really have to work for it. You know, if I don't work on it, man, I'll never be able to speak. I just keep trying, keep trying. Hey, one day it just pop out. I'm better than anyone else. Okay, you got to do the same thing. You got to be able to speak. And the other thing I mentioned too about working hard is, you know, writing. You know, like I said, you know, my freshman year, how many of you guys flunked English in the freshman year? You know, UH, you got to take a 100, right? English 100, expository writing, right? I failed, get an F. First semester, I was discouraging. I only got a 1.2 average on the first semester. Man, I thought I got to flunk out, you know, but it didn't discourage me. You know, I starting to write, even though today I can't write good. I know that. You know, I cannot write good, but I still write. I try. You know, I've written a lot of articles, even published some in a professional magazine, international magazine. I've been telling people, have you been published in an international magazine? You know, I've been. You know, one day I said I'm gonna write a book, and I wrote 4 books. You believe that? 4 books. But the first 2 are kind of not really a book. It's kind of short. And then the other 2 are joke books, kind of a cookbook and a book on history and culture of China. You can check it out on Amazon, Amazon.com. Type my name there. You see it. It's a kind of like a joke book and also a cookbook. Okay, so if you want to take a look, but this month I've been writing another book. Can you believe that? It's the history of Alabama. That's a real book. You know, before I talked to you guys, I was still typing. And so far I wrote about 80 pages. Man, I hate that, but it just keep coming. Oh, I tell you, keep pounding the computer. 80 pages. Hopefully I'll be done in a month or so and get someone to edit my book in English, you know, and I can do good. So the key is, if you want to do it, do it. Work hard. If you work hard, anything can happen. Anything. And another thing about my success is taking risks. I took a lot of risks, in my life. I always take risks. I've been telling people, if you don't take a risk, you never know you're going to be successful or not. You will never know. I working for the bank, got a good job, and I quit. My dad was yelling at me. Filipino father almost pound me, belt me for quitting the bank. We used to wear suit going to work in 1970. You know, but that was the best move I made. When I went to the mainland, nobody believed in us making it. We did that. So you got to take risks in life. The other thing too, talking about work, you have to love what you're doing. Okay, and I love my work. Like the volunteer, if you really like it, you should continue. You should do whatever you like to work. Your work has to be fun. I have a saying from Confucius: if you like your work, you already retired. My daughter keep asking me, "Hey, why don't you guys stay home?" I said, "Well, I stay home when my mind is not working. It looks like my mind is very sharp right now for another 20 years, I think. I'm not young, I'm 75 years old, but here I'm still pumping, every day working, do all kind of stuff, traveling, you know. And the last thing I just want to give back is that's exactly what some of you guys are doing, giving back to your community. Okay. Your community is very important. And I learned that from early on that you have to give back to your community because like us, especially, LNL will never be successful without the support of the local people. We might open up in Dallas, far away, and it would drive 2-3 hours to eat our food. And I'm really thankful for that. So you got to give back, and I give back in a lot of ways. As you know, I work at the Filipino Community Center. I actually built that. Right now my project is to build a Chinatown arch and to clean up Chinatown and promote Chinatown. So that's a lot of the things I do, and I donated a lot of money to university because when I was going to school at UH, tuition is only $115 per semester. Can you believe that? $115. So I didn't have to really work hard, but to make money to support myself. So I gave them over $2 million, about 30 scholarship every month to help needy students. So giving back is very important, and giving back, I've been telling people, if you give back, you get 10 times back in return. When I look back and I say, well, if I didn't buy the restaurant for my mom, LNL will never be here. I'll be still selling real estate like Jay Schuyler, right? He's a billionaire, right? I'll be selling real estate. I work at real estate just like him. But the fact is, I bought the restaurant, gave it to my mom as a gift, and I got it back and see what happened. We make history. To me, making history is more important than making money because LNL is going to be around for a long time. All the politicians will be gone, but I'll still be a long time. I'll still be working. I'll be still working until the day I drop. Not because I have to, because it's fun. It's fun. I've been telling everyone, if it's not fun, don't do it. When I do volunteer work, the same thing. When it's not fun, I don't do it. So when I look in the future now, what's going to happen to LNL? Well, this year alone, we're going to open about 20 more restaurants. Would you believe that? My daughter is doing a great job. 20 more restaurants this year. So we'll be about 240 by end of the year. And we will continue to grow. We're going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'll be sitting on the sideline watching it, and I'll participate too. But and I have to see what's going to happen. Okay, so LNL is really a good opportunity, and I've been telling a lot of people, if you guys have anyone interested in the mainland, contact me, because it's a great opportunity. It's fun to work on, and you got to make money. Okay, I'm done. Any question?
Yeah, I've got one. Is my speaker on?
Yes,
Yep.
we can hear
Yeah,
you.
Joe.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it's Dan Kogar from the American Red Cross volunteer at the Guam chapter. Thank you very much. I logged on kind of late. I was doing a water delivery down south to Umatix, so my bad. Anyway, the question that I have is, what recommendations do you have for other people to make adaptations due to the pandemic?
You mean in the restaurant?
In the restaurant business, because of the pandemic, a lot of restaurants closed. A lot of them did modifications to stay open.
Okay. Well, that's you know, again, I have to go to church and pray because we've been very, very lucky. Most of the restaurant being affected are sit-down restaurant, but a fast food restaurant, we were not that much affected for two reasons. One, the takeout business increased. Second, the delivery business increased. Even though we closed down the seating, it doesn't matter. Uh, After the first year of the pandemic, we noticed that our sales actually almost the same as previously. And even this year, when we look at a year before, it increased even slightly. But we don't have concern about the pandemic because when it happened, we did a number of things. You know, when the state shut down the restaurant, we immediately waived all our fees to our franchisee for 2 months. You know, I thought, oh, gee, what's going to happen now? I don't have any money for myself, too. We waived the fees for 2 months because L&L is almost like Ohana type of business. We want to take care of our people. We completely waive our fee for 2 months. The second things we did was I told my staff to drop everything, whatever they're doing, drop. Going to meet every day and focus on how to help our franchisee. Because as you know, in Hawaii, most of the franchisees are Chinese immigrants. You guys notice that, right? They don't speak English. Most of them, I would say 80-90% are Chinese immigrants. They don't speak English at all. They all don't, you know. So we have to hold their hands to tell them what to do, tell them about the new rules, tell them how to fill up the forms for PPP, how to negotiate a landlord. So for about 3-4 months, the pandemic started, our whole company just stopped and helped our franchisee. That's what we did. And hopefully, things going to change. But we've been lucky. We've been doing good. You know, we didn't close too many. We closed 2 out of 220, which is the lowest you're going to find in America. And we're very proud of our record.
Thank you.
Eddie, there's some comments in the chat box. One of them is in reference to your cookbook. Is your cookbook, does it have L&L recipes in there? Or what kind of a cookbook is it?
Well, this is one thing I've been, my cookbook, this is one thing I've been talking about, do what you want to do. You know, the cookbook, I wrote it. We have all the L&L recipes that I Googled for. You got to laugh at that now. No, we got stuff from L&L, but some I have to Google, you know, on the internet. Actually, it's pretty good. How many people do we have here today?
Let's see.
How many volunteers have on this?
22.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't give you my
22.
cookbook. I won't give you my cookbook. If you call me next week, I will give you my book on how to do business on China. Oh, by the way,
that'd be excellent. My father's done a lot of business with China.
On that book, you will notice that Diane is in there as one of the cartoons. Okay, you try to figure it out. Okay, just give me a call. Text me when you want to come by. I'll give you 22 books for all those that attended today. Okay, it's a really good book about the history, culture, how to do business in China. In fact, it's all jokes in there. So I kind of kind of pick on the Chinese a little, you know. So yeah, Diane is going to be there in one of the cartoon. You figure out which one she is, okay? And tell me you found it on page so and so.
Well, I look forward to getting my book, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. But the cookbook, we don't have too many. The Chinese book, I have a lot, but the cookbook, I think we running out, so I can't give you that much. I have to save it. But you can buy it on Amazon.com.
Okay, thank you.
It's only $10. Out of that, I make 3. I'll give it back to you. I don't need it. So, but yeah, the book on China is called 108 Tips on Chinese history, culture, and travel. Okay, it's a
Okay.
fun book.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll be in touch, and then we'll send the email out to everyone who's on tonight.
Yeah, for the 22 that's at it, I'll give you 22 books.
Thank you. There is a question. Have you ever been on the cooking show, Cooking Hawaiian Style?
No, I have never been on a cooking show. I would love to cook, even though I can't cook. Okay. I
Right.
can, I hate to say, but I'm kind of multi-talented. I can do almost anything. I go to the kitchen and cook. My wife kick me out all the time. But I can cook. When I cook my jambalaya, she was, that is not jambalaya. Yeah, it is. Try it. But I'm not bad. I can cook. I can fake. I'm a good actor. I can fake. As long as you don't taste my food afterwards, then it's okay. I can put up a show.
Let's see. It looks like there's another question. It says, how do you evaluate risk? When is it good to take a risk? Are there times that you say, no, it's bad risk? I think
Yeah,
there's
how
some-
do you, I mean, to me, it's very simple. I usually draw a line, and a vertical line, and one side say yes, the other side say no. And then you just put up all the good points and the bad points and figure out which is heavier weight. And then you just pick it, you know. And again, it's more or less like a personal decision. When I quit the bank, I say, gee, why would I quit? I may be a president by now. I don't think so, but Peter Ho is the president. But you know, you just have to decide if you're willing to take that risk. And it's your own personal choice. But usually, I would calculate plus and minus and see which is more or less, and then say, yeah, I'll go for it. Just like when I buy a condominium, I say, okay, was it good or bad? Plus minus. That's very easy to figure out. Simple analysis.
All right. Do we have anyone else with a question for Eddie? If you do,
was interested in asking, have you experienced any discrimination in the time that you've been here?
Well, have I been experienced? Yes. I mean, here and also in the mainland, even here in Hawaii, being a half Chinese and half Filipino, I have experienced discrimination. You never believe it, but it actually happened here, several times in the Chinese community. Being a Filipino, Chinese, in the mainland too, obviously. In fact, on my new book, I did mention about, something about being in the military. Every time I have a pass, I would take a bus to New York City to the dance club. Because when you're young, a soldier, you want to go dancing and meet girls and so on. And most of the girls would not dance with me because I was the only Asian. Can you believe that?
Well, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Mm.
And then one day, I told them I'm from Hawaii, and they got all excited. Do you believe that? That's why when I went to the mainland, the restaurant is called Hawaiian Barbecue, not L&L Drive-In. Whatever you do in your life, the word Hawaiian is key to everything. That's what I found out. Wow, I see all the girls they want to find out. I want to come visit you. What's the place? Hawaii is number one. No koi, I'm telling you.
okay, we have time for just a few more questions. We actually have two in the chat.
I take
one
two
question,
more.
One is, do you draw all the cartoons in your books?
No, I don't. I mean, I would lie to you if I do. I don't. I hire someone to do it for me. But I wrote all the jokes. All the jokes came from me.
Okay.
All the jokes,
And-
but not the drawing. In fact, I forgot his name. Oh, what's the guy's name that did it for me? But the book is really funny if you read it. It's a funny book.
Okay.
It's very relevant, you know, to history and doing business.
Okay, we have actually, I'll combine these two questions into one. What does L&L stand for, and how many of your L&L restaurants have you visited?
What does L&L stand for? L&L started in 1952 by a Korean gentleman. His name was Lee, Robert Lee. And he named after himself and his wife or his son. We're not sure. So it's called Lee and Lee Dairy. It's not a restaurant, it was a dairy. And L&L actually started in 1959 at Liliha Street. That's the original one. In 1976, I bought the restaurant for my mother. We lived 1 block away. And I said, this place is good for my mom. I bought it for her. You know, I did a lot of good things, you know. Not to be many people even know that I actually paid the tuition for my brother who went to mainland when he was young. I was only 22 years old. He asked me for money. I gave him my life saving. I've been a very generous man to my family. Would you believe that? And I always joke with him, hey, I gave you 16,000. They say, oh, you're rich. I say, not at 22. I just barely starting out.
Have you been to all of your L&L restaurants?
Almost. I don't want to say yes. I would say 95%.
Okay.
I usually
right.
visit them every year.
Well, thank you very much, Eddie, for being our guest speaker and sharing your time with us this evening. We really appreciate it. It was great to hear your story and all the things that you overcame and how successful you've been. So thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me. And don't forget, I'll give you 22 books.
All right. Thank you. I will be in touch with you, Doctor.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Mahalo.
Yeah.
Bye.
For the rest of the volunteers, don't leave yet. We're actually going to do a game and give prizes. So just for the last 5 minutes or so, since it's National Volunteer Week, I'm going to turn it over to Joy, who's our volunteer engagement specialist, and we're going to do a quick trivia contest with some prizes that she'll explain.
All right. Hello, everybody. So we just have a fun quiz. I hope you are ready to type your answers into the chat box. I'm just going to pull up my PowerPoint right now. Heather, do you see my PowerPoint?
It's loading. Oh, yep, there. I see it now. It's there.
All right. So the rules are very simple. I have 5 questions here. The first one to type the correct answer. And if it's multiple choice, which I think all of them are, you could just type the letter corresponding to the correct answer. No need to type the entire word. And so we can spread out the prizes. Each person can win only once. You can still answer, but if you already won in the previous question, then the second one who answers would be the second one who answers correctly would be the winner. So is everybody ready with your typing chops?
Yeah, I just had one question. How do we type into the chat?
Oh, hey, Dan. So yes, so the chat box is on the right, should be on the right-hand side of your screen. And if you're not pulling it up, you see, I don't have my screen up, so
it looks like a word bubble, and it says chat box, meeting chats. If you click on it, you can. Oh, it says show conversation.
I got it.
Okay, and then
okay. Thank you very much.
So make
Okay,
sure you
Dan,
all have your cursor where you're ready to type a new message, so you can type your answer there.
Okay, Dan, I'm expecting at least one correct answer from you, but okay. No pressure. Okay, everybody ready? The first question is, who founded the American Red Cross? Is it A, Henri Dunant, B, Clarissa Harlow Barton, C, Florence Nightingale, D, none of the above? So I think we have a winner, Heather?
Yep, the first one is Laura Lee. The answer is B.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Laura?
And just to review the other, in case you're curious, if some of you answered A, Henri Dunant was the founder of the ICRC in 1863, and he was part of the inspiration for Clara Barton, who founded the American Red Cross on May 12, 1881. And just for more trivia, Florence Nightingale is a British nurse, was a British nurse, social reformer, and a statistician best known as the founder of modern nursing. All right, so second question. Home fires claim 7 lives every day, but having working smoke alarms can cut the risk of death by half. Next month, volunteers will install free smoke alarms in homes, educating everybody about home fire safety. What is this nationwide effort called? Wow. Services to the military, B Red Cross Ready, C Sound the Alarm, and D Red Cross Club. We got a lot of, I think everybody got it right. So it's just it's just a matter of speed. Heather? Who's the first one?
Sorry, I was talking, but I was on mute.
Oh.
The first response was Celeste, but Celeste, if you can type in later on what your last name is, so we know your full name.
I think I have it on I have it on the registration. So
Okay.
So
All right.
So
That's Duncan. Okay.
I have it on the alarm next month for everybody who's interested. It's going to be on different dates and locations from May 1st to the 22nd. And if you want to have more information, want to participate in this effort, just raise your hand or type something in the chat so you can catch your attention. Okay, question number 3. Whoops. Just a moment. Oops. Hang on, I'm having technical problems, so give me a second. Okay, let's try this again. Am I still sharing my screen, Heather? Not yet, not anymore, no?
No, not right now.
Okay. Let me go back, sorry. Oops, I want to make sure I'm not on the answer page when I go back. Okay, hang on. I think I gotta bear with me. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. All right. The question number 3. This program at Tripler Hospital helps patients recover. This program is sponsored by the American Red Cross, and it uses furry friends to help cheer up patients who are recovering from physical or mental illness. Is it A, SAF, B, Human Animal Bond, C, Red Cross Ready, or D, all of the above?
All right. Our winner is Caleb Alarcon.
Yay, Caleb. So yes, so here we have one of our furry friends, a volunteer for the Human Animal Bond program. Okay. Question number 4. Name this vehicle. A, is it a first responder? B, is it an AED? C, is it an emergency response vehicle or ERV? Or D, an ambulance?
Okay. I think, oh, goodness. Oh my gosh.
Very
There's the
quick.
I think Laura Lee answered first, but she already won one. So the next winner is Mike Wertz.
Yay. All right. The last question is, volunteers carry out blank percent of the humanitarian work of the Red Cross. Is it A, 70, B, 80, C, 60, or D, 90?
All right. The winner is Razel Alarcon.
Yay. All right. So yes, it's 90%, and that is why we cannot do our mission without you. That was my last slide. Okay, so congratulations to all the winners. We'll be mailing you a small token. And now I just want to, before we end, I just want to invite everybody. We have a few events coming up. So if you need more information, just contact me or you can type your name in the chat too. But this events are available on Volunteer Connection too. You could sign up on the shift tool. So the first one is happening next week. It's our usual water cooler talk, and we welcome new volunteers. Especially, please come and join us. It's at 10 a.m. on Wednesday next week, April 27, and these are all virtual except the last one, which I'll point out. There's another meetup next week, and this is hosted by the Services to the Armed Forces. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's on Thursday, April 28th at 6 to 7:30 p.m. And while it's hosted by Services to the Armed Forces, all volunteers are welcome to attend. And we're also going to have First Fridays. This one is hosted by the Communications Department. So they're going to focus on storytelling for Sound the Alarm. And that one is the following week on Friday, May 6th at 6 to 7, still virtual. And then, so for the map swipe gather, there's a map swipe gathering on Tuesday, May 10 at 5 to 6 p.m. So for those of you who have been map swiping, you would know what this is, but we also welcome the newbies. We're happy to train new map swipers. So don't forget to sign up for that. And for next month, also, we have a special registered nurse pin recognition, and that's going to be on May 12. Between 6 to 7 p.m. The last one is an in-person event. So for those of you living near West Oahu or in that area, this is happening monthly. It's food distribution over at the West Oahu Veterans Center. This is being done by our Services to the Armed Forces Department in partnership with AMVETS. And the next one is going to be on Wednesday, May 18 at 9:30 to 1:30. And this is an in-person event. So it's great if you want to go out and participate. Okay,
So I
that's it.
want to
That's a lot
just
of
quickly mention, Krista has said in the chat that she's interested in helping deaf people get Sound the Alarm, which I think the project does do. I don't know if there's any way of connecting her with someone who might be able to reach out to people who are deaf.
I wrote it down, Christelle. We'll connect with you offline. I do know that when I did Sound the Alarm a few years back, there is a special way we do installation for hearing impaired.
It's just the installation is great. That's easy with the flashing light. It's the contacting the community out there. I mean, I've been on island about 2 years and I'm still trying to contact the deaf and hard of hearing. Not just people born deaf or become deaf, but even late deafened need like a strobe smoke
Do you
alarm.
have a TTY?
No, those are antiquated, not really
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I guess
Everybody
with
has video relay
TV.
service now. We do video phones now. And so but see, I can't, there's a conflict of interest if I meet with people on a job and then say, by the way, can I get you a smoke alarm, you know?
Well, if you can give information, maybe I can make calls to appropriate organizations that might be able to make some connections.
Yeah, maybe we can work it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I forget most of my sign language, but I at least still will remember the alphabet that much.
That's a start for sure.
All right, we're at the end of our time. I do see Dan has his hand raised. And is it something that you need to share with the group, Dan, before we close?
You know, I think I clicked that about 15 minutes ago. Please disregard.
All right. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We will be logging in your volunteer hours for attending tonight, so you don't need to do that. And stay tuned for the invite for the next one coming up next month. So have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Right.
Take
Thank
care.
you, and everyone have a blessed day.